Ready. Hi, I'm Mary Ann, and this is Mary V, and this is our author conversational interview for MFA 604. Thank you for joining us. I just want to start off by saying we're both psychological suspense writers, and I think that's really cool that we got paired together. Mary V, could you tell me a little bit about why you choose to write psychological suspense?
I like writing psychological suspense because um, life is just filled with things that go wrong, kind of like the background noise that I have right here that was supposed to be really quiet. And it's nice to be able to read stories in which we can identify with characters and then to see how they end up solving the problem. I think that by adding twists and turns, make a story more vivid and real, just like life is filled with twists and turns for us. We're driving somewhere and we get the flat tire, or glitches with videotaping, all kinds of things. And that's just life. And that is suspense because you never know what the ticking time bomb is going to be. How about you, Marianne?
Um, for me, I I think I agree with a lot of what you said. Um, and I think the adrenaline of
Yeah.
the suspense is really what gets me going. I love that what's going to happen next, sit on the edge of your seat, can't put the book down. And I've always enjoyed that as a reader, and I really want to be able to bring that out to my readers. So I think that's why I stick to that genre.
Well, and also, I think that as we were talking beforehand, you had mentioned that your previous circumstances have lent to your being able to empathize with suspenseful situations. I know I have been homeless in the past and crawled out of that into what I have today, and it is a powerful thing that has impacted me. And I've had other bad things happen as well as happens to everybody. So I think that helps us to really relate and to make our characters more realistic.
I agree. There's a lot of cathartism, I think is the word I'm looking for.
Yeah.
But it's kind of almost healing in a way, what I write, because a lot of what I write is mixed with a lot of real life experiences, with things that I have experienced or people that I love have experienced, and a lot of things that I kind of tell myself, well, it could always be worse, you know? And I
Yeah,
have
I've
a
tried
very
to.
vivid imagination. So my brain is always coming up with ways it could be worse. And I just kind of channel that into my writing. And I feel like this genre of writing really helps heal me somewhat as I write my stories.
I think, yeah, that's a really good point. So, how is it then that to extend it farther, how do you think us writing in psychological suspense helps our ideal reader? I know what in my research, I noticed it's like the 40, 50-ish year old female. And so I kind of write to them. How about you?
I would agree. I think that our reader base has been through a lot. The that 35 to 50 age range is that's where I sit in life. That's where a lot of people that I know and love sit in life. And every every woman in that age range that I know has seen and been through some things. And I think that reading those books can also be healing in a way because you can see the resolutions that come at the end, good and bad. And you can also see, again, like I said, like it could always be worse. And it kind of is, that's not always the healthiest healing mechanism, but it's kind of helped me a lot. So I feel like it probably also helps our reader base a lot.
So
Being
then,
able to,
drifting from
yeah.
there, how do you get your ideas specifically for your story? You mentioned to me earlier that you have a trilogy in mind. Where did you get the idea for your story?
So actually, so my trilogy is the Inheritance series. And it starts with Inherited Shadows. I have always loved true crime and psychological thrillers and suspense, as I said. And so I always kind of wondered, these serial killers out there, what happens to their kids? A lot of them have kids. A lot of them have, like, it's a whole second life that nobody knew about. And so I kind of toyed with the idea for a long time about what it would look like for a daughter of a serial killer who was raised by this man completely alone. Her mother was not in the picture at all. Um, what that would look like as she grows up when she does find out that her father was a serial killer, what that would look like. And the character also deals with dissociative identity disorder, which is something that I personally deal with. And it's often depicted in really demeaning ways in media, through movies, TV shows, books. I very rarely see it depicted in a way that hits home for me. And so I really want to explore that in a way that maybe my reader base can understand it a little bit better.
Cool. Well, for me, I'm writing a story that I titled Esme, and that means beautiful one. And my story is taking pieces from a real life person. Her name is Alice, Princess Andrew of Greece. And although she lived a long time ago in World War II, I'm making a contemporary story and taking pieces from her life. And when she had her first child, her mother took her child away from her and shunned her, and put her into this mental institute. And Alice escaped from there after 3 weeks, and but she was caught and taken back, and then she was had to go through the whole treatment before they would release her. She later on married the Prince of Greece, but her son was Prince Andrew, who married Queen Elizabeth. So there was a lot of drama going on with that story, and so to contemporize it, I set my characters in New York City. The gal marries into this wealthy family. She ends up having a female child instead of a male child, and so there's drama that goes on with that. The child is taken from her. She's put into an institute. She ends up escaping. So a lot of things end up mirroring Princess Alice's life. So that's the manuscript I'm working on.
That is so cool.
Thank
That
you.
is really so cool. My bachelor's is in American history. I'm a history buff.
Oh,
I know a lot about Princess Alice and her story.
oh, you do?
So
Oh, cool.
yes, I love that you are taking her story and revamping it. So that is actually really, really cool.
Right, and then to
I,
bring it also into
I
what
look
we're
forward to reading that.
thank you. What we're bringing into what we're talking about is that at the end, Princess Alice set up um, a a place where trafficking girls could come as a refuge, and she hid them there. And so my character also is doing the same for the prostitutes in New York City, giving them a safe place to go to, teaching them careers that can get them away from prostitution. So, like I say, the same kind of thing. So, yeah.
I love that. And um, did any of your characters become bigger than you anticipated as you were writing?
In a different story that I wrote, she was a very secondhand character, and then all of a sudden she came to life and became the men were kidnapped from the village. It was taking place down in Colombia, and so she stepped up and she used her knife skills to teach the women how to protect themselves, how to hunt, how to survive for the 5 years that the men were gone, and they thought that they were dead. But then they came back, but she's the one who brought strength to the village. So yeah, it was like she surprised me. How about you? Do you have a character
That's really awesome.
that does that?
Uh, kind of, actually, yes. So I had a big rewrite. I went to a writers convention last October And I thought I was done. I was like, I am ready to send this off to be edited. Like, I am done with my book. Like, I look at me go. I'm a whole year
I
early,
think we all do
you know.
that.
And I came home from the writers' convention and I deleted like 75% of my book
Wow.
and did an almost total rewrite from the ground up. And a character that was supposed to be kind of a background character, her partner, who's her childhood best friend, and but he wasn't supposed to have like a huge role because it was supposed to really focus on Emily. He ends up having a much larger role than I anticipated. Um, and I love it because it really just completely changed the trajectory of the story and
Isn't
really,
that
sorry,
amazing
my
when
cat's
that
trying to make an
happens?
appearance. I'm sorry, what was that?
Isn't that amazing when that happens? It's like all of a sudden you see the new scope and the better scope for the story.
I honestly love it. Some people have a hard time with change, and I have a hard time with change in a lot of things. But sometimes I feel like changing our work isn't so much about change, it's more about growth. And I feel like growth is important in all aspects, especially in art. So I try to look at it like that whenever things change. I don't look at it as it's changing. I look at it as it's growing. It's becoming what it's meant to be.
That's a
And
good point.
sometimes I don't know what that is until it's done.
That is a really good point. Well, we've gone probably over our 10-minute limit. Do we have one more question for each other before we go? Um,
I have one more question for you. This is my favorite question to ask authors, especially new authors like me. So if you had to pick two established authors that would be quote your literary parents to say that, you know, they maybe your work resembles these two authors, who would you pick?
I would pick, oddly enough, Preston Child. He's the author of Jack Reacher, and I picked him because Reacher is one who goes out and is always out for the little guy, and he makes things turn out great. And for the female person, probably, um, oh, Frida McFadden, because I try and I
Oh, I love
never
Freedom
figure
McFadden.
out the twist. I know in the beginning that she's going to have a twist to the thing and it's going to turn out, oh, and I just hunt for the red herrings, I hunt for what the answer is, and I'm wrong every single time. I wish that, no, I don't want to be able to be right, but I wish I could, but yeah. Th Those are the two that I would do. How about you? What are the parents that you would have?
I would say Stephen King and Mary Higgins Clark. I love the way Stephen King just builds that anticipation and that suspense and just leaves you on the edge of your seat. And then Mary Higgins Clark a lot for the same reasons as Frida McFadden. She sadly she's no longer with us,
Yeah.
but she she wrote some amazing twists and really just kept you hooked guessing until the very end. And I knew when I was reading her that I wanted to write just like her.
Well, they
So
definitely are the king and queen of horror and suspense, the two that you picked.
they are.
Good choices.
They are.
Well, I want to thank everybody for
So
listening to us. And we've had a great time chatting with you. And hopefully, you have enjoyed the wealth of knowledge that we have given you.
yes, thank you so much. I enjoyed it.
Bye.
Bye.